Dear Rental Scale Up members, today let's discuss my findings, my top 3 findings from the Vacation Rental World Summit. Last week I attended in Annecy, France, one of the first big vacation rental conferences that was back after, or I say during, the COVID-19 pandemic. So here are the top 3 things I found out. First, people are eager to meet. I was myself kind of, I want to say, worried about meeting so many people. The conference had about, I would say, 220 attendees coming from Europe, the US, the UK. So it was quite big, actually. People were very eager to reconnect and talk. In my case, for example, there's people I had been doing deals with, for example, for last couple of months. Never met them. It is different when you meet in person, I must admit. I can be an introvert sometimes, very happy to work from home, but meeting people, discussing after hours, late at night on the rooftop about, the industry, about kids, about the Caribbean, all this create these kind of connections that you can't really replace through Zoom. But what I would say though, what I saw at the Vacation Rental World Summit, what I heard about the 2 other conferences that took place earlier in the week in London, the Short Stay Summit and the Book Direct Show, is that people were eager to reconnect, but especially they were vendors. There were probably way more vendors in proportion than property managers compared with the usual conferences. You would say that makes sense. People who are the most eager to go to a business event are vendors. That makes sense. I'm curious to see how it's going to turn out in the US. Maybe it's less true than in Europe. But I would say there's a hope for business travel in a way because people are very eager to reconnect. Some connections are just not the same. Or we did round tables, for example, to solve people's problems. It's I think we can replicate the things through masterminds. I'm pretty sure of that. But some connections are good online. So a mix of online and offline is the recipe. Number 2, I really liked a question asked by somebody at the conference. I noted this down. Basically, the topic was growth, and this person was a let's say medium-sized property manager. The question was, if we don't want to sell and we don't want to have the outside funding to blitz scale to additional markets, how do we middle-sized managers thrive moving forward? Right? Because on one hand, it was clear at the event, right? There's a lot of people raising money. We talked about Vacasa, for example, or other companies in Europe. But some don't want to grow across markets, or some don't want to sell. They want to stay independent. So what was interesting, I heard different solutions floating around, and Simon Lehman, for example, the vacation rental expert, talked about the franchise model. Basically, the franchise model is where under one common brand, let's imagine a brand across several countries. You have this one common brand that's able to drive demand, that's able to bring tech together, so you can drive bookings through online demand. You can make sure you connect to different channels using the same tech, but operations stay local. What I mean here is that you can let's imagine, right, in different countries. In each country, you have one brand, and these brands. Each country, you have the same. Internationally, you have the same brand. But you have a different company in each country, right? And in this country, your company represents the brand. So it's the idea of franchising in a way. You can imagine in big regions or in some countries having your property management companies being the sole representative of this big international brand. So it will be a way to, let's say, benefit from the purchasing power or the creation of demand from a big brand, while delivering what really matters, which is a local experience. Being able to use your property management companies to deliver a great guest experience, to deliver properties that are clean, and that's things that are actually very hard to scale. So, and an example that was given was Altido in Europe that merged together several companies. Let's see, it's a possibility for companies that don't want to sell but don't want to raise crazy amounts of money to grow internationally. Is there a way to get together? And a third thing I got away from the conference was actually Marriott. So Marriott was here at the conference at the Vacation Rental World Summit. They even had their VP there, which is very impressive, a very smart a person flying out from the US for this conference. But what's interesting to me is it got me thinking, right? When Marriott International launched Homes and Villas, it was a club that was very hard to get into for property managers, right? You had to show I don't know how many years of financial statements, and Marriott review so many things about your business, and so you had to integrate directly into their system. It was hard to get in, but when you were in, you were proud of that, and you would a lot of the first entrants, first partners, first property managers to join Marriott International here would actually display the Homes and Villa label on their website, because to them it was sort of a certification that they were one of the top luxury vacation rental companies in the world that had been selected by Marriott through a very demanding process. Yet this year Marriott has been talking about how they've worked with, and they're working now with 6 different channel managers that makes it easier, let's say, for a lot of more property managers to join. And in a way, I'm not saying it's diluting a bit the brand, but it's kind of sounds like the club is a bit less restrictive. I also heard during the conference that people say the standards have gone maybe a bit down. What I heard as well is that Marriott is clear about this, right? The goal for Marriott is to deliver bookings from its loyalty program. 90% of the bookings on the Marriott platform are from people who belong to Marriott's loyalty program, Bonvoy. And yet, so that could be an issue, right? For example, for European property management companies that are signed up on the Marriott platform, for the moment, they're not getting many bookings. Bonvoy program is very strong in the US, and you don't get that many US travelers in Europe for the moment. So, looking forward, that should be getting better, but it's a clear, for the moment, let's say people are not getting that many bookings in Europe. In the US, what's so very interesting, what I heard in the US and the Caribbean as well, is that the people in the Bonvoy program are not necessarily super clients of luxury properties, super premium properties, right? They are business travelers, they're affluent, but what they want to do here, they want to redeem their points, and maybe for like a big weekend. So not necessarily like, for a 7-day stay in a luxury property in the Caribbean, right? So actually what I heard in the US, so in the Caribbean, some people saying, well, for our very, very premium properties, this does not really work out for the moment. But also it makes sense, right? We are talking about a program for loyalty. Loyalty, basically, it's people able to redeem their loyalty points, their programs. And I don't know how many points they have, but as well, some of them, they got the points through their companies sending them here and there, right? Does not necessarily mean they have the money to book things by themselves. Again, very interesting. So is the program being diluted by lowering some standards, make it easier for more property managers to join? At the same time, if these properties, the standards of properties are going a bit lower, maybe actually it's a better match for the actual demand that Marriott International Homes and Villas program can bring. That could be a better match. So I'm not saying it's wrong, but overall, what Marriott has really succeeded here is to get people to talk about the platform and how successful they are, and putting pressure on Hilton, on Accor, and Hyatt, and their shareholders of these other hotel companies want to hear about this. They want to have a similar success. So I'm not sure it's a big business for Marriott, but in terms of image, it really looks like the company has managed to find an answer to the Airbnb challenge in a very, very smart way. All right, these are my. I got way more takeaways from the summit. I said I would only do it in 10 minutes. That's 10 minutes. Next week you'll find even more takeaways from the summit, and send me any questions you may have. As usual, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and to our newsletter on rentalscap.com. Cheers.